morning, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to your neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Suzanne Mazars. I'm the music director here. And we opened our service by celebrating Earth Day, because every day is Earth Day. All right. I have the life of the community. Our community is very active. In our galleries, we have a show going on till June 1st called Portraits Transformed. It's a group show. Just like to highlight the three beautiful paintings behind me of Chris Emanuel's that I love gracing our space. I'm not sure if he's a member, but he is here. He's a member of our congregation and created these beautiful things. And you can visit our gallery upstairs after service today or come in anytime during the week. Fundraising committee. Where will you volunteer and lend a hand in the year to come? Play a part in the fundraising initiatives that help keep neighborhood thriving. We're looking for new members with fresh ideas for fundraising events. You can come to Mimosa Sunday on June 8th after service and chat and ask questions with committee members. Also, we'll be having our annual silent auction opening on November 1st and looking for donations of items in good condition. So keep us in mind if you're purging your home of items not needed between now and then. May 25th, help plan our future services here at Neighborhood. We do this town hall event every year to gather feedback from all of you about the past year and what you'd like to see in our services in the year to come. So after service on the 25th, we'll have pizza so you can stay, share your views on what worked and what you're hoping for. This is brought to you by your Umbrella team. The C Committee, Social and Environmental Action Committee meeting is happening 2 weeks from now, May 18th, after service. More pizza. And discuss the various social justice initiatives happening here and with our DMC partners that we can get involved in. And the two co-chairs are here today, Laura and Nancy, if you'd like to chat with them about social justice at NUC. Circle Music is happening next week. That's once a month from 3 to 5 p.m. Jane Lewis and I co-lead an improvised music-making circle. You're all welcome. It's a lot of fun. No experience necessary. You can talk to me after if you're curious. And Sunday service next week, we begin our exploration of the theme of equity with Love at the Center. Our message is Harvesting the Gifts of the Ancestors with speakers Moyo Mutamba and Natalie Zen. Moyo and I will be providing the music, and our service weaver will be Dab Berdizan. Right, and Time for All Ages next week. Moyo will be providing the monkey hat story.
Good morning. Again, welcome to this Neighborhood Unitarian Universalist congregation. My name is Rev Sally Fritche, and I am the minister here. It is wonderful to be here with you. And whether you're here in person or one of the stalwart participants on Zoom, know that this service is here for you, and we hope that you find in it something that you need. For those of us in person, please remember to be aware of the various needs and boundaries of one another while we're gathered together, honoring the mask-required seating area, keeping aisles clear for mobility devices, and allowing for social distancing as needed. We are a community of many ages and abilities, which means we embrace whatever little noises or distractions come with being together, and are committed to a love that makes space for all. If you have a phone or other device that can be silenced, I invite you to do that now. And if there's anything that you need to make yourself comfortable in this space, sit, stand, stretch, pace, fidget, get a glass of water, please feel free to do so at any point during the service today. That includes going into the wiggle room just there, where there are some toys and a comfy couch, going to the activities table, or retreating all the way to the cappuccino room where you'll have a layer of separation from what's going on in here.
The door's fixed.
The door is fixed. I gasped when I walked in and saw the door fixed. All right, we begin to enter into sacred space with an acknowledgement of the land we are on. I, as you know, am a recent immigrant here, most recently arriving from the Midwestern prairie region of the United States and descended from generations of English and German settlers there. I am new to this place, and I am learning what it means to be here, to be in relationship with a new place, with its people. This is the treaty land and territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, as well as the traditional lands of the Huron-Wendat and Haudenosaunee peoples. Part of being here is being willing to speak this truth and hold it with grief and honesty. Acknowledgement is a symbolic gesture. This alone is not relationship nor reparation, but symbolism holds power in a space such as this. The many First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people here are not mere history, but are still here and still fighting for autonomy, liberation, and the protection of this earth. It's worth pausing when we can to recommit ourselves to taking action in support of those lives and efforts. Thank you. And now let us enter into the sacred space together with the words we hear every Sunday, invoking qualities of safety, forgiveness, and love, which we hope to experience here. I invite you to join me in reading our invocation, or simply let the spoken words roll over you in the voices of others. Let us cast the circle of a sacred space here. Let us cast the circle of a cherished space here, a space of safety, a place of forgiveness, a place of love. If we want the world to change, we must craft in our space and in ourselves the seeds that grow a different kind of life, a life of graciousness, of creative intelligence, a place of life and spirit for ourselves and our families. Whenever we gather, we light a flaming chalice, symbol of our Unitarian Universalist tradition, a cup of light, a warm circle into which all are invited. This morning, our chalice will be lit by Deb Bertazone and Dave Renzeni. When we light it from the flame already burning inside the lantern that our kids will take to the Rainbow Room, we symbolize the inspiration and brilliance of the next generations from which we light our own flames. Oh, we don't have a candle. It's all part of the plan. Perfect. As I light the flame, we'll sing together our chalice lighting song. Thank you. And our prelude today will be Hold Fast to Love, a song written by our own Reverend Lynn Harrison and arranged by our talented music director, Suzanne.
Thank you. I invite the choir to proceed to the risers. And just want to celebrate the creativity of this congregation. I mentioned Chris's paintings, the song that Lynn wrote, and we're pleased to debut Keeping Love at the Center with these beautiful crocheted hearts that Tab made for the choir that we're wearing today and will be our element to express both our unity and diversity.
It will endure.
Thank you all for that beautiful music. Thank you to our wonderful Spirit Choir. And let me also thank all of the many staff and volunteers who make this service possible. That includes Linda in the kitchen. We are a community of many different backgrounds, identities, and beliefs. We strive to welcome all people who are looking for spiritual community, and we hope you find what you need here with us today. If you're new and you'd like us to keep in touch, please fill out a newcomer card. They're in the back of the chair with your contact information, and leave it in the offering plate when we pass it later in the service. And if you want people to come up and chat with you after the service, just take a red mug during coffee hour, and the long-timers will know that you're new and hoping to connect. Our services vary quite a bit week to week, so we encourage you to sample several to get a better feel for who we are. Our mission at Neighborhood is to empower spiritual growth and shared action for the care of our world. Our overarching theme for this year's services has been Love at the Center, and for the last several Sundays, we focused on the UU value of transformation. Today, we'll share our community wisdom, that is, everything we've been reflecting on from our services on transformation and what it means in our own lives. The Unitarian Universalist Association speaks about the value of transformation by stating, "We adapt to the changing world. We covenant to collectively transform and grow spiritually and ethically. Openness to change is fundamental to our Unitarian and Universalist heritages, never complete and never perfect." There are many things that make UUism the unique faith tradition it is, but I think our embrace of transformation might be one of the most unusual things about us in the religious landscape. Nothing is written in stone in Unitarian Universalism. We are a living tradition. We have some texts like our shared values, our 7 and then 8 principles, whose language have been debated and altered many, many, many times over the years. Rather than one unchanging ancient text guiding us, I've heard it said that UUs have loose leaf scripture, always adding and subtracting and changing as the world changes around us and as we are changed by it. Choosing transformation as a value is itself an example. The process of proposing language for the shared values of UUism started with a wide set of conversations across many congregations, narrowing it down to a proposal that could be amended and voted on by UUs at the annual General Assembly, then amended and voted on again. For this one, the original proposal was to say that UUs value evolution rather than transformation. And the amendment that gave us transformation instead cited, 1, the possibility of confusing people about whether we're talking just about the scientific concept of evolution, a fair confusion, and 2, that evolution as a concept has an implied direction, an assumption of forward motion, but transformation is not bound by our ideas of forward and backward. Transformation happens. It happens for better, it happens for worse. And it's for us to be open to that reality rather than deny it. I want to wish this morning our pagan practitioners a very happy Beltane. This past week marked the astronomical halfway point between the spring equinox and summer solstice, which is celebrated in many traditions as the threshold of the summer season. And the earth is transforming all around us at this time of year. The earth and all her creatures can offer us lessons on how to live through change, how we might approach the inevitable, rising and falling and rising again of life's tides. We'll be singing a song together later in the service, inspired by a poem by Kentucky's farmer poet, Wendell Berry. He writes, "When I rise up, let me rise up joyful, like a bird. When I fall, let me fall without regret, like a leaf." What lessons have you learned about transformation, and who have been your teachers? The leaves, the birds. Maybe you've learned from your own experiences or witnessing great transformation in the wider world. We've spent these past several weeks here reflecting on this concept, this spiritual value, and later in today's service, we'll all have a chance to share thoughts with one another. Now, because this is a community wisdom service, we'll not be having spoken joys and concerns today. So let me say, in honor of the many bright joys and many heavy concerns that are being carried in this space, breathe in the shared light here, and know that although they are unspoken today, your joys and your sorrows are held with tenderness and care here. May you feel in this moment and beyond the network of mutual care that weaves between us. May you feel caught up in it and gently lifted into a place of rest, even if just for an hour. And now we come to the time to turn and greet your neighbors. You can turn to those around you, nod, smile, introduce yourself. You might simply put your hands on your heart. After you've greeted a few neighbors here in the room, remember to turn to the camera just there and wave to those on Zoom. Everyone on Zoom, you're invited to unmute and say hello as well. Suzanne will sound a chime for us when it's time to come back together. But for now, take a moment, turn, and greet the neighbors around you.
I'm going to invite the congregation to join the choir in singing the chorus of a new song for neighborhood. I found this beautiful song that talks about how we're transformed by music. Maybe you have been, found that music has opened you up in a moment when you thought you were closed, or caused you a feeling of joy and celebration, or allowed your tears to flow. I'll sing a line, you repeat after me. Let me just get the key. So, what's in a song that helps me to heal? What's in a song that helps me to heal? And why can a song allow me to feel? And why can a song allow me to feel? Oh, I can't explain the joy or the tears. Oh, I can't explain the joy or the tears, though I've been a singer for years. Though I've been a singer for years. So I invite the congregation to join us on the chorus, and the song will feature 6 soloists from the choir. Luann, Julia, Kurt, Wendy, Dougie, and Dee Dee.
There's a time when the folks are having a ball, and the drinks and the jokes will fill up a hall. But sing me a song, a chorus or more, and that's when I'm likely to soar. For they say that there's nothing like having a feast to bring folks together from north, south, west, east. But give us a song when the feasting is done, and that's when the many are one.
There's a time and a place for sorrow and woe, when the pain and the tears waters are expected to flow. But give me a song and voices close by, and that's when I'm likely to cry.
There have been times when my heart has wanted to weep, but the pain and the tears are buried too deep. Then out of the blue, in a room full of song, that locked inside feeling is gone.
There are places where pleasure is wrapped up and sold, and you purchase a moment with silver and gold. But the pleasure of singing's a blessing to me, 'cause I know it by heart and it's free.
Oh, there are songs I remember and cherish so much. When we reach out our voices, it's almost like touch. And we pull in the circle and banish our fears. And we'll try to keep singing for years. What's in the song that helps me to heal? Why can a song allow me to feel? Oh, I can't explain the joy or the tears, though I've been a singer for years. What's in a song that helps me to heal? Why can a song allow me to feel? Oh, I can't explain the joy or the tears, though I've been a singer for years. What's in a song that helps me to heal? Why can a song allow me to feel? Oh, I can't explain the joy or the tears, though I've been a singer for years. Though I've been a singer
Hello. Thank you for the nice welcoming. I'm Julia, and I'm here to do the Time for All Ages for you. And this time, it's going to be a little bit different. And I'm just wondering, how many of you have asked yourselves, what really goes on in that rainbow room behind the closed doors, with a show of hands? All right, well, today, hopefully I can answer some of those questions. And since this is a Community Wisdom Day, we figured it was a perfect time for this, just so you know that much of what we do is reflective of what goes on here. For instance, your rituals, our rituals, the message of inspiration here. It's our message of inspiration, and our art, our creativity, our drama, everything is designed around that message. And we don't just play the whole time, although we do play. Play is very important, being playful. You all understand that, I'm sure. And for the past 6 weeks, just as what has been happening here, we have been doing transformation too for our theme. And our messages have been tying in with your messages. And so just to give you an idea, thank you, and stay there if you want. We gather around the flame and we say our opening words, but our opening words change each time according to the message. So recently our opening words were, we gather around this flame to think about how all things change, and that is the scary, but wonderful, exciting magic of being alive. Hello. And then we take a moment, a meditative moment, to center ourselves, and we take turns dinging the chimes and taking some deep breaths in through our nose, out through our mouths. And then we do our, what we call our sads and glads, except instead of using candles, we use either stones or shells. And our sads and glads are often, just as important to us as your joys and concerns are to you. And often we just start a conversation, a discussion opens up from our sads and glads. And then it is time to do some moving around. And if you feel like it, or if anybody else feels like joining in, why not? And this could be through a game of Twister, or it could be Brain Gym. I don't know whether you've heard of Brain Gym. And if you want to try this out, you've done it before. So you start like this, and as I say, if you want to do it, where you are in the aisles, just stand up or whatever, or not. We stand like this. We cross one leg over the other. We take our arms, cross them so that you can clap. So they should be, and then clasp them and turn them towards your chest and then out. And you put your tongue on the roof of your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And then if you want, you can practice doing it with the other foot. And these are called hookups, and it just helps to sort of center you. Lyndon knows this because we went to the same school. All right, and then let's see. Oh yes, and we also, a nice one, we gather the energy from the earth. So just pretend you have paint brushes that are somehow magical, and they have all different colors. And you start here, you gather the energy from the earth, and then you, with your paint brushes, you paint a big rainbow all the way across the sky. Let's do it once more. Gather the energy from the earth and paint a big rainbow across the earth. All right. And then we have you can sit down if you want. And then we have a game called Magic Stick. And this is like a transformative game because even though this stick might look like an ordinary stick to you, this is actually a magical stick, and it can become anything you want it to be, except it has to be the same shape. I'm going to do something, and maybe if either of you feel like doing something, that's fine, or if somebody else wants to try, let me start, and then I'll okay. Let's see. Yes, a rope ladder. Do you want to try something? Anybody? You want to try something? No? Or it could be, let's see. Oh, I know. I forgot to do this in the morning, so what did it become? Yes. And then we also have the ball of energy, and if you feel like it, you can do this with me as well. So this ball of energy, another transformative drama activity, can become something else. Anything you want it to, anything we decide for it to be. So, and just think about, is this thing scary? Does it tickle you? Is it funny? Is it beautiful to hold? And then just try to show that, and then you pass it on to the person next to you. And we usually do this in a circle, but you can do this with a partner. So the first thing that this ball of energy is going to transform into is water. And then just imagine the water you have in your hands, and then you pass it to the person next to you. Thank you. I'll repossess it. And now this magical ball of energy is turning into a very angry, prickly porcupine. But even if you feel like throwing it to the person next to you, don't. Just carefully pass it. Thank you. And the final thing, this ball of energy is now turning into a newborn baby. I was looking at Eileen. Soon going to be, the ball of energy is going to turn into. So just imagine that, you know, it's a newborn baby, and then it's a small, well, it's sort of like, that's true, it is, I didn't think of that. Well, maybe like this. Thank you. All right. And then after that, we have a snack, and popcorn is our all-time favorite, right? Popcorn monsters, there's popcorn. And then during the time when we have our snack, you know, we can talk about all kinds of things, but I try to center it in onto the message of inspiration that the children heard earlier when we were gathered around the flame. And then it's our period, this leads us into a period of creativity. And there's kids of different ages, so there's different activities for the kids to explore. There's a box full of costumes that they can take out and do some role play. There's some loose objects from nature that they can use to build fairy houses with, or animal homes. And and then also there's the kids often though like to do whatever art activity is going on, and just recently we did a transformative art activity, and it was sort of like change and then letting go of what is, thinking about what about yourself you would like to change, to transform, and then what's holding you back. So I'm thinking, sometimes I'm afraid to share my ideas. So we started off by doing a caterpillar, and on the caterpillar, it's okay, sorry, I should have asked you before. This is beautiful, thank you. We wrote what was holding us back, what we wanted to change. And then the caterpillar then we drew the cocoon around the caterpillar, and we colored over top of it, and then we cut out the caterpillar, and then we glued it onto a butterfly that we had made, the butterfly wings. So this showed the metamorphosis that the caterpillar went through, and to create this image of transformation and to remind ourselves of the change that we wanted to make. Well, I hope that gives you an idea. I did want to quickly, I'm sorry, because there are a few people who I just am so grateful to, like Tab and Kim, my regular volunteers. You bring your authenticity and your care for the kids, and it's always, each time is unique and real. Thank you. And the young people, Kiana and Morgan, and they bring their strengths, and they also help me when I'm struggling to understand when there's references to popular kids culture. I'm a bit lost, and now that my own kids have grown up, so I'm grateful to them. And I'm also grateful to another young person, Daphne, and she has started to design those posters that you see when you're coming in, that greet you as you come into the cappuccino room, and that are over there, and it's her own photos. And I want to thank Lauren, who has given me art supplies, and we've exchanged ideas with. And finally, my lovely and enthusiastic bunch of LL committee volunteers, and we should have a meeting soon. And I just want to say your names: Rev Sally, Karen, Christina, Luann, Deirdre, Moira, Tab, Jillian, and Laura. I think I've remembered everybody. So hopefully that gives you an idea of what we do. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Julia and helpers. That was incredibly enlightening, and also I appreciated the chance to, breathe and stretch. We have a special opportunity today to welcome and affirm 2 new members of our Spiritual Life Committee here at Neighborhood. You may be thinking, what is the Spiritual Life Committee? So let me say, it's a group within this congregation that was formed about a year ago with the role of assessing the congregation's health and the health of its various ministries. That is, assessing, not judging. Specifically in connection with how well each part of congregational life helps us live into our mission of empowering spiritual growth and shared action for the care of our world. The Spiritual Life Committee also informs and advises the board and the minister, myself, and is expected to have their finger on the pulse of the congregation's deeper spiritual needs. Our current Spiritual Life Committee is just 2 people, Helen Armstrong and Gordon Klee, and the board recently undertook the process of finding and selecting 2 more members to join them. Those 2 are Dave Renzetti and Deb Bertazone, who are here to celebrate and be affirmed today. I would invite Dave and Deb to come forward and stand here by our chalice. The traits that we look for in a member of this team are being a compassionate listener, being trusted by others in the congregation, being able to weigh many factors and propose ways forward even when they're not perfect, and having a gift for complicated questions that may not have clear right or wrong answers. We believe that you fulfill all of these and more, and that you'll be valuable additions to this group. We ask that you occupy this role with integrity and compassion, nurturing the overall health of the congregation above any individual conflict or difference of opinion. I'll ask, is it your intention to listen, advise, and serve with love always at the center? They do. Then let us as a congregation affirm Dave and Deb in their commitment as members of our Spiritual Life Committee. Do you, the members and friends of Neighborhood, accept and affirm these 2 as trusted and trustworthy members of your community, capable of tending to the spiritual life of this congregation? We do. Great. Thank you. You can go back to your seats, and Suzanne will lead us in continuing to hold love at the center in singing again, Hold Fast to Love.
This is the song you heard the choir sing at the beginning, and now it's your chance to join us in singing Lynn's song, Hold Fast to Love.
This
Amen. Thank you all. As we prepare to share our thoughts with one another, let me first briefly refresh your memories about the various wisdoms that have been shared so far over the past 6 services regarding the value of transformation. Way back on March 30th, I was here speaking about the power and possibility of living beyond strict binaries, connecting us back to our transcendentalist forebears in the service, transcendent, transformative, transgender. On April 6th, David Zalakar spoke movingly about his journey within the 12-step program and the spiritual power of transforming suffering into love through service to others who are going through similar struggles. On Saturday, April 12th, we had an evening movement service, Moonlight Metamorphosis, where we danced and moved our way through struggle into freedom and back again. On April 13th, Reverend Lynn Harrison was with us preaching What Me Change, a service about how difficult it can be to welcome transformation in ourselves and in our lives. On April 20th, Easter Sunday, author Mariko Udo spoke about facing and embracing those parts of transformation our society might try to hide away, with her message, Where Does It All Come From? Where Does It All Go? About being more deeply aware of and connected to the water source and water treatment processes that keep us all alive. Finally, last week, Reverend Stephen Atkinson spoke on the life and beliefs of one Henry Nelson Wyman, a 20th century Unitarian theologian who based his work on the idea of creative interchange, driving meaningful relationship and growth in our lives through difference and proximity with others. Today, it will be your turn to share your own wisdom. We'll take a moment for meditation, and we'd like you to reflect on the question that we'll be asking you later. You might reflect back on some of the messages we've heard in these recent Sunday services. You might reflect on your own experiences. As Unitarian Universalists, we know that one of our richest sources of inspiration is the direct experience of this world. And together, we gathered here have doubtless been witness to transformation, for better, for worse. And those experiences shape how we hear and process any speaker's message and any Sunday service. So we're asking you now to reflect on how this core value, transformation, touches your life. The mission of this congregation is to deepen spiritual growth and inspire shared action for our world. And after all the speaking and singing and meditating and dancing and reflecting on transformation we've done, now is the time to connect that to our own spiritual growth, our own action. Let's take a moment to ground yourself. Get comfortable in your chair. Connect yourself to the earth beneath your feet. If you feel comfortable, you can close your eyes or take a breath. And take just a moment to reflect on how transformation inspires you and touches your life. Soon it will be time to share your wisdom with those around you, and here's how we'll do this. You'll be asked to form into groups of approximately 3. You can self-select with those sitting next to you or near you. While in your groups, you'll get 10 minutes to share with one another, and I'll let you know when we're about halfway through, when we have about 1 minute left. If you'd rather not be in a small discussion group, you can also choose to grab a clipboard over here on the rail and spend this time quietly journaling or doodling or engaging with our reflection prompt in your own way. Those on Zoom, you can unmute yourselves and form a discussion group there online. And if you feel that you on Zoom experience a grain of wisdom that we should all hear here in the room, you can write it in the chat to everyone and we'll be able to read it aloud later. So with that, take a breath. Maybe take a look around and see who's near you. The question we're considering is, what transformations have been important in your life? How are you engaging in transformation now? And what resistance are you encountering? Remember that everyone in your group should have a chance to share something if you wish, and we'll have about 10 minutes total. And introduce yourselves to one another when you form up as a group. Thank you, Suzanne. All right, with that, let's break into groups, and I'll let you know when we're about halfway done. All right, as we return to the larger group, I am sure transformed by the conversations we had, we'll take a moment for just a few breaths together to consider what wisdom we absorbed in these conversations. And after a moment of silence, I'll ask if there's anyone who gained a singular grain of new insight, something they feel is important for the community to hear, and we'll have an opportunity to share. And to be clear, we're not looking for someone to report for your group, summarize everything that you spoke about, but rather any specific aha moment that jumped out for you, something you believe that everyone here would really benefit from hearing. So we'll take a few deep breaths, center ourselves, reflect. And we know we'll only have time to hear from a handful, but these conversations will be ongoing. They won't stop at the end of today's service. We've set aside roughly 10 minutes for this portion of our community wisdom. So if you had an aha moment, if your conversation partners helped you come away with a new piece of wisdom, a new insight about transformation that you'd like to share, please raise your hand, and Suzanne, our microphone runner, will run the microphone to you. And for those of us who are not speaking, we can put our hands down. Our role is to listen with an open heart and mind and continue to grow in shared learning. And please say your name before you share so that those who don't know you will know you.
Hi everyone, I'm Angie, and piece of wisdom was that transformation brings growth, obviously, but then growth comes through pain. Yes, transformation happens through pain.
Thank you.
My name is Lauren. And the challenge is that when you're working with crunchy, grumpy, negative people, you can't change them. And so all you can do is put on the shine and the pleasantness and the happiness as much as possible. And hopefully you can influence a little bit in their world. That's not necessarily transformation, but you start with yourself and maybe you can work out.
Hello, I'm David. What came out of our conversation was just a reminder of something that years ago I learned when I was involved with the Buddhist community before coming to neighborhood, and that was that the transformation is an ongoing process. It happens from moment to moment, and the challenge for me is to recognize it in the moment as opposed to just saying everything's the same, you know, so. That's what I took away from our conversation.
I'm coming to you, Kurt.
Okay, how can I say this? I think one thing I picked up from our conversation is sometimes you have to know when you are willing to change and, you know, when you are comfortable. And if you're not comfortable at the moment, then, you know, just recognize you're not comfortable at the moment.
My name's Nathan. Transformation sometimes means turning off the news and taking a walk in nature.
Just on the point that the gentleman, Sophia, my name is Sophia. On the point of change, but like it comes back to transformation, I read something that resonated, that you don't rush the rosebud to open. You don't pressure it to open. You allow the sunlight to shine enough for the petals to open. And I feel about that, about change and transformation, where we are sometimes in a hurry for that growth to happen or that change to happen. And sometimes there is timing, and there are things that need to be established before that can actually happen.
I did, my name is Kim, and I did self-reflection and doodles, and what came up in my self-reflection and doodle is that sometimes we can be really too much, and how do I hold being too much at the same time of trying to find a calm within that doesn't sort of blaze over other people, but at the same time doesn't silence the fact that that's a creative spark as well.
Boom, boom, boom.
One thing I picked up in listening, my name is Pat. One thing I picked up from listening to everyone was the transformations in life kind of come off and on all through life. It's not just at the early stages of life, but happens in the middle and even towards later years, different phases, different decades. There's always, not always for everyone, but quite often just changes just come, and it's taking that time to work through and allow it to take place.
Hi, my name is Steph. We were in the group. We were talking about one thing to contrast transformation with would be something like perfectionism, like trying to be a. Oh, oops, sorry.
Same wavelength stuff.
And how in that mode you're kind of trapped in a prison of how you think you need to be. How you think others want you to be, and how being willing to change and transform is a key out of that prison.
Thank you. Who are you?
My name is John, and transformation is difficult, but what helps is to be in a loving relationship.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to share, I'm Allison. We have opportunities daily and sometimes on less frequent occasion to be in the presence of others who are vulnerable and pained or having difficulties. And the act of witnessing how others have been able to or are transforming gracefully and vulnerably and inspires me and changes me, and my hope that I can do the same for others, that we can be there for each other.
I think that will wrap it up.
Let's check in with the Zoom folks. I think Peter has if you want to bring the mic to him.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I can't take the mic. Two things. Tab commented how as they went through change, the change became transformative once I accepted it for what it was and stopped trying to imagine ways for it to unhappen. And then the people on Zoom started exchanging email addresses to one another. And that sort of culminated with Sigrid commenting, this conversation on Zoom reminded me that transformation can help virtually, and we are not alone. Community can support the bumpy journeys of transformation. Listening and sharing helps.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone on Zoom, for being part of this. Thank you all. Your voices, your perspectives are so valued, are so valuable. They are precious gems. And to think that every single Sunday when we gather and hear just from a few voices up here, all of that wisdom is churning away inside this space, creating all the bonds of community that we feel but don't always get a chance to see and hear. So thank you for bringing it to the surface today. We're entering the time for our offering. Here at Neighborhood, we are an entirely self-funded organization, so pat yourselves on the back. While there's much we're able to do through the power of our generous and numerous volunteers, we of course also pay rent, hire staff, run programs that cost money to create and sustain. The continued mission of this congregation relies on the financial contributions of its members and friends, and any contribution, no matter the amount, is gratefully received and will be put to use furthering the mission of this community. Our greeters will pass the baskets, and whether you're online or here in the sanctuary, you can also use the link displayed on the screen, which leads to our donation page on our website. Members of NUUC can also choose a variety of ways to give: predated checks, e-transfers, automatic withdrawals. Please give whatever is generous for you, and know that your generosity in all ways is greatly, greatly appreciated here. So greeters, please bring the baskets to me when the money is collected, and I believe our spirit choir will be providing our offertory music.
As the choir ascends
to a higher plane,
higher plane, I'm going to teach you all the song, and we're going to sing it all together as one big choir. I would love if you're able to rise, if you're feeling it, because we're going to be all standing together. If not, it's okay too. You might feel, the song is about rising, so that's part of it too. All right, I'm going to teach you the main melody. Sounds like this. And when I rise, let me rise. And when I rise, let me rise like a bird, joyfully, like a bird, joyfully. And when I fall, let me fall. And when I fall, let me fall like a leaf, gracefully, without regret, like a leaf, gracefully, without regret. We're going to sing this. First we'll have Eileen, our soloist, remind you how it goes and sing it beautifully. And then we'll all sing it together 3 more times. Could the baskets from the offering come forward? Excellent.
And when I rise, let me rise.
Beautiful. If you have found love and acceptance here, if you have found home here, if you have known kindred spirits here, let this offering collected be a token of gratitude for our common life as we build the common good. You may be seated if you're still standing. The choir is still standing in the ascended plane. Thank you. And let me share, inspired by the wisdom that you all brought with you today, a community prayer for transformation. I invite you to join me in the attitude of prayer, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like for you. Let us pray in the certain knowledge that transformation happens. We pray in the knowledge that change becomes something more when we can accept it, when we stop trying to reverse its flow. May we recognize transformation in the moment as it happens and be grateful for its arrival. When the pain comes, may we recognize the growth that comes through it. May we have the strength to survive it. May we have the patience to know we cannot always change others. The patience not to rush the rosebud, but allow the warm sunshine, the dark soil to do its good work. May we remember we are never too old to be transformed. It's never too late to transform the world. And when we forget that, when we lose hope, may we turn off the TV and go out into the world that transforms all around us every day. May we break through the prison of perfectionism and be in loving relationship with others, with ourselves, with our world. May we be inspired by the grace and vulnerability of others. May we have the clarity and confidence to channel our creative spark, our too muchness, and be what the world needs. May we go back into our lives today a little bit transformed. May we go joyfully, gracefully, and without regret. Amen. And with that, our closing song, a reprise of When I Rise. And I will invite Deb and Dave forward to extinguish our chalice, and we join in singing our chalice extinguishing song. And as we have connected with each other with minds and hearts and words, let us connect one last time in the physical space. You might rise, join hands with your neighbors, bump elbows or shoulders, or simply put your hands on your heart if you'd rather not touch today. Aw, look at the choir up there. We're like surrounded by a big choir hug. And let me leave you with this blessing. May you go out into the world transformed and able to be a force for transformation. May the changing earth around you surround you in her greenery and her blossoms and her warm spring breezes. May you greet those changes with joy, without regret, in the sure knowledge that you are not alone. May you feel the care that exists in this room and beyond it. Go in love, be blessed in all that you do, and be the change that you want to see in the world. Amen.